Ho ho!
Tomorrow, a very special and important match will be played for everyone connected with Real Madrid, the first Clásico of the season, and also your first Clásico as Real Madrid coach. Tell us, how important is the strength of the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium for tomorrow?
Good afternoon. Of course, Clásico is always special. It has been for many years, and it will continue to be so in the ones to come. It's the first one this season, the first for this new project, and we want the stadium to have that energy of big games, of special games, to vibrate, to push us on. There will be moments of all kinds during the match, and hopefully at the end we can celebrate with our people.
I imagine you've heard Lamine Yamal's recent interview where he said Real Madrid steal and then complain, although it seems he later tried to tone it down a bit. I don't know if those comments from Lamine can in any way motivate or inspire Real Madrid's dressing room.
As I said, it's a match that's already important enough with plenty of ingredients for us to go out there, play well, and enjoy it. That's what excites us most. That's our biggest motivation for tomorrow.
I wanted to ask about last season's Clásicos. I know it's a different season now with different teams, but what lessons can be taken from those matches ahead of tomorrow?
Yes, there may be some situations that are similar. We've analyzed them, but the moment is different for both them and for us. Our project is different. It's just getting started with things we're working on every day. For tomorrow, we've analyzed it well, and we want to strengthen our own qualities and play a good game.
I'd like to follow up on Lamine's comments. You've played some very heated Clásicos yourself in the past. Do you consider those statements disrespectful or offensive?
No, I'm not going to get into that. There are many comments coming from people in Barcelona, and I can't start assessing all of them. For us, what matters is the pitch, what happens on the field, where we come from, what lies ahead in tomorrow's match, and how we want to play it. That's what concerns me the most and what we've been focused on.
I wanted to ask you personally how you're approaching this first Clásico. Is it a somewhat unusual week for you? More tension, nerves, pressure? Do you sleep well? How are you arriving to this game?
Good, good. Aware of the match we have and the importance it carries, but the day-to-day routine doesn't change. It's a special game, no doubt, one we had marked on the calendar, but overall, things don't change much.
I'd like to know if you've already decided your lineup, or if there are still a few spots to determine depending on how some players feel tomorrow. Players like Carvajal, Ceballos, or Trent, who might still be a bit tight physically.
Yes, I already have it in mind. They're all included in the squad. We've recovered almost all the players who couldn't be there against Juventus, and tomorrow you'll see.
Just to ask directly, considering the 5 players who have recovered, can someone who's at about 80 or 90% fitness still start a match like tomorrow's?
I start from the idea that almost all the players who are in the squad can start the game. Then it depends on my choice, on what we need tactically, technically, emotionally, but anyone included in the squad is fit to play.
Considering Barca's playing style, and we saw it last year, especially in the Clásicos, that ability they have to make the offside line hard to detect, and how Mbappé often got caught offside in those games. This season, under you, it seems he's being caught offside less often. Is that something you've worked on, and could it be a key factor given Barca's defensive approach and Mbappé's potential?
Well, given the qualities of our players, those kinds of situations can certainly occur. But before that, there are other things we need to do right. It's not just what happens behind their defensive line, it's also about how we build up to those passing situations, from what positions we deliver the ball. So I think there are many small details that can make the difference in these big matches.
One standout player for Barca is Lamine Yamal. Does that make Carreras a key player for tomorrow?
Everyone who plays has to be decisive. They can be decisive, both defensively and offensively. That's what we expect tomorrow, for both the individual and collective levels to be at their very best to compete in a top-level match.
In previous matches against big rivals with Real Madrid, things didn't go as planned. Paris Saint-Germain, Atletico de Madrid. I wanted to ask if you have a special desire to prove yourself in that sense tomorrow.
I'm eager for the match to go well, for us to win, for people to enjoy it, for us to celebrate together. That's the main thing. We approach every game with the highest level of importance, and this next one, of course, has a special flavor. That's why it's the most important one right now.
Last season, Mbappe played in every Clásico and scored in all of them. Even though 2 goals didn't count in one of the matches, how eager is he to be decisive and finally win one?
I see him just as good as always, and I see everyone equally motivated. We all know what this match means and how much it matters. Kylian looks great to me. Everyone else has also recovered well after the Juve game. No issues. Raúl as well. So, tomorrow is the moment.
After the derby, you said that talking only about attitude was a bit simplistic. I wanted to ask if, since that match, you've noticed a turning point, not just in attitude, but also technically and tactically. Do you feel the team is arriving now at perhaps its best moment of the season?
Well, no doubt that a few more weeks have passed since then, and we've been correcting things, doing them better. And ahead of tomorrow, we feel we're arriving in a good moment, mentally, football-wise, and in terms of competitiveness. It's a good moment indeed.
You've mentioned before that Mbappe is the kind of player who, if you explain things to him clearly, he understands and applies them. That he's a very rational player, I think you said the other day. Can you tell us a bit about what you've been asking of him these past months within your playing model?
Well, these are things that usually come from conversations or instructions, mainly about how we can be more efficient in finding him in the right positions, what he can do to appear in those spaces, and how we can be most decisive within our collective structure and quality. And indeed, not only through goals, but in many other situations where he's been involved, the team's collective quality has been improving. Kylian is a key part of that. When he understands his movements in relation to others, and his teammates interpret them well too, that's what we're working on.
I think it's 11 wins in 12 matches this season. With only the derby as a blemish, do you think it's simplistic that people focus only on that result after 2 months of competition? And do you believe that derbies and Clásicos can define a project, for better or for worse?
Well, I don't know if they define a project, but they are important matches. I don't like to evaluate only the results. I look at the process. And over these 12 matches, I think there's been growth. There's still room for improvement, but we're only in late October, almost November. No trophies are handed out yet, no medals are won yet, so there's a long season ahead, but right now, the only thing that matters is tomorrow. Our focus is entirely on the Clásico.
You didn't want to comment on Lamin's statements earlier, and you said the important thing is what happens on the pitch and how your team plays. After 12 matches, 9 in La Liga and 3 in the Champions League, do you consider that this Real Madrid, your Real Madrid, plays good football?
Yeah, I like what I see. We're competing very well, though I believe we can still play even better. In many aspects, we're building a solid foundation to be consistent and reliable. Do we need to take the next step? Yes. But for me, it's already good football.
When you watch your team play, do you ever feel the team needs a true striker inside the box? Against Juventus, for example, your team had a lot of control of the ball, but there wasn't a player in the area for that final pass, unlike in the Club World Cup, when you played with Gonzalo Garcia as a striker. Could that make a difference?
No, that depends on the qualities and characteristics of each player. Right now, we're playing with a forward who offers much more movement and better passing accuracy. He's not a traditional striker. That's the quality of this team, and we have to use that to our advantage. We know we must be flexible and able to adapt our style depending on the match, and the players have to be ready for that.
We've seen your Madrid make many tactical changes, 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, a 5-man backline with Tchouaméni as a centre-back at times. How do you plan a tactical setup for a match like this, against a team that you know will press you, and when you also want Madrid to press when you have the ball.
What matters most is us, our qualities, our strengths. Then come the game plans and the small details, but always based on our own idea of play, on what we want to do, both with and without the ball. Football today is very demanding. You have to stay compact, control the distances well, and recognize the moments to press. That's what we've been working on and what we'll continue to build on to become more consistent in our performances.
Just to know your opinion, could Lamine Yamal's comments create a tense Clásico and even affect the Spanish national team, considering how many players from both clubs are involved?
No, what I have in mind is that it's going to be a very intense, very hard-fought match. We know there will be moments for everything. We have to be ready to compete at the highest level, for the players to bring the right energy and passion needed to play a top game. I'm not thinking about any other consequences.